Hello everyone, this is Nephis here, and today we're going to be talking about the appropriate CP allocation for veteran Sunspire, both non-hard mode and hard mode fights. And as always, just like the previous trial guide, CP allocation guides, I'm going to be updating this on my website and my personal Discord as well. So in the future, if there's any changes made to the CP setup we have here in this video, you'll find it on both my website and my personal Discord server updated. So feel free to check them out anytime in the future. They will both be in copy pastable form, so it's easy for you guys to look at it on a different source, or just in game if you want to copy paste it into the game. So first we're going to be talking about the DPS and the healer specs for red and green trees. As both the healer and DPS, you'll be both experiencing the exact same type of damage for the most part, and in some instances the exact same amount of damage. So there isn't actually going to be too much of a diversity of factors or damage factors you're going to take into account when you're setting up your red or green CP. The Sunspire trial is actually pretty damn straightforward. There isn't anything convoluted or complicated, and with the addition of ESO logs and the ability to look at the data from our fights, it's even made more clear that most of the damage that comes to the group as either DPS or healer is mostly Magicka based damage, and we'll be kind of be going over why we put things where. So, but if you want to skip the video and just check out the CP allocation, you can skip on ahead to my Discord server or website, or in the description down below on this video. To start off with, we're going to have 81 in Ironclad. Typically we reserve this many points into Ironclad for the tanks. However, there can be quite a bit of direct damage, including on Luxtis, the Ice Dragon boss, and Naveen Taz, his knockback from the wings. So 81 Ironclad is a pretty good CP to invest in, and I would highly recommend both the DPS and healers doing so. The spell shield, again, most of the damage is going to be Magicka based damage. There shouldn't be any physical based damage that attacks you or is put on you, unless the tanks are doing something wrong. But this can be higher depending on how much you put into Hardy, which is more of a matter of debate considering most of the damage in Trials Magicka base. So I will be talking about that here. So 81 thick skin, there's a lot of dots in this trial that may potentially kill you. In particular, from the beam phase on the Ice Dragon boss, the dot on you is atrocious. It's basically the Warrior Starfall, but a bit more intense, I would say. But yeah, 81 thick skin is a good investment as well into the 81 Ironclad, no doubt about it. And the 43 Hardy, again, this is going to be the matter of debate because there's only 4 major sources of physical based damage that will instantly or almost instantly kill you. The first is obviously the direct incoming damage from the bosses, their claw attacks, their bites, and so on. That's physical, but typically that should be on the tanks. The frost attacks, when they light attack you, are physical based on the Ice Dragon boss fight. Typically they shouldn't be on you, but for the tanks it's going to be a challenge for you in veteran Sunspire to hold on to those ice attacks, because the ice attacks in veteran Sunspire act quite differently compared to other ads in the game. They are very impervious to soft taunting, and for those of you who don't know what soft taunting is in this game, it's basically, let's say you taunt the Ice Atro, and after your 13 seconds of taunt is up, they're basically gonna stay on you for a little bit while until you have to taunt them again. However, in veteran Sunspire, these Ice Atros in particular will not stay on you. If you let go of taunt for even half a second or a second, they're gonna immediately run away and chase somebody else, and they are pretty damn fast. No joke. So it might be necessary for most progression groups to put in the Hardy. The third major source of damage for physical based damage is going to be the 2-hander ads on the last boss fight and the trash fights prior to the boss fights, before you reach either the Ice or Dragon Fire boss. So that's pretty much it. The fourth major source of physical based damage may be inconsequential ads or something like that, or the Iron Atronak Stomp. But again, that's a matter of positioning and learning to play and coordinating the group. So that's pretty much it. This is a matter of debate, but I guess it would be okay to have. So feel free to take some away from it if you're never dying to physical based damage in veteran Sunspire. Otherwise, you can keep it as it is. And just repeat 81 thick skin for the dot damage. It's pretty insane in there. 49 elemental defender. Again, most of it is magic based damage. And we don't really have anything in the quick recovery. The only instance where you have a healing debuff on you as a DPS is during the Ice Dragon boss fight, where you have to enter or encase yourself in ice in these ice prisons. The hard mode fight, it's going to be 2 ice prisons, so 2 DPS have to be cycled 3 times to encase themselves in ice. So the healing debuff is pretty atrocious as well. However, healers have many or a few ways of bringing you back up to full health to release you from the ice cages anyway, regardless of whether or not you have anything into quick recovery. So I don't think quick recovery is necessary as either a healer or DPS on Veteran Sunspire. Most of it's mechanic based, most of it is armor shatter based, like for the last boss, for tanks. So honestly, there isn't really a need for it for any of the roles, I would argue. Moving on to the green tree CP, we're going to have 51 the Warlord. Basic 90% break free cost reduction just in case. 16 Sprinter, it's a very long trial, lots of ads. Not lots but in terms of density, but like it's a very long walk, let's just say, from start to finish in Veteran Sunspire. So I would definitely recommend at least 10% sprint cost reduction. 64 Mooncalf if you're Stam DPS, 64 Arcanist if you're Magic DPS, obviously, and Tenacity 37 with 9% basic return on heavy attacks. 51 Tumbling just in case. 51 Shadow Ward, there will be many times where you may have to block certain things during certain phases, so this can be less than 19% obviously. However, no more than 19% is necessary for either the stamina Magicka DPS or even the healers. So that's pretty much it. We'll be moving on to the tank CP for the red tree and the green tree. Lastly, in discussing the tank CP setups, I will say this from the raids I've seen on the Sunspire PTS. Both the main tank and the off tank will share the exact same type of damage, except maybe the fire and the ice dragon boss fights. The last boss fight, both the main tank and the off tank will be handling the last dragon, Navintas, and I would highly recommend both the main tank and off tank having similar mitigation against that, along with just in case a tank dies and you as another tank have to take over, whether you're the main tank or the off tank, something like that. So 81 in Ironclad, basic damage mitigation against direct damage, lots of direct damage on you from both trash fights and the boss fights, because you are the tank, obviously you're taunting everything to you. The claws, the breaths, the bites from the dragons, it's pretty painful, so I would definitely recommend Ironclad. 81 Ironclad. 81 thick skin, because you are going to be experiencing the same types of dots, especially on the Ice Dragon boss fight from compared to the DPS and the healers. So it's nice to have. Also, there's going to be mitigation against the breath from this CP perk. So the fire breaths, the ice breaths, Navintas' breath on you, it's going to be heavily mitigated by the 81 thick skin, and it'll help you survive and help you heal or through the ordeal, and help the healers heal you through the breaths as well. 43 hardy, again, it's very crucial. This is not a matter of debate compared to the DPS or the healers. It's a must, because there's a lot of physical damage, as I said, for the tanks. What it will especially be a potential killer for most tanks in this trial is going to be the trash in the last boss fight, and also the trash prior to the boss fights with the two-hander adds. The two-hander adds to the exact same animation as the warrior does in Hell Ra Citadel. They're going to be swiping you. So if you let go block for even like a second and a half, you're probably going to die unless the healers have their absolute focus on you, healing you, and it's kind of hard healing you back up. The swipes are incredibly painful. And if you take into consideration on Navinta's hard mode fight, the last boss fight hard mode, the ads do have an enrage mechanic. Like, if you don't take them out of the red AoE soon enough, they'll just enrage. They'll be even more painful. So the 43 hardy minimum is not a matter of debate for either the main tank or the off tank setups in Veteran Sunspire. 49 elemental. Again, most of the damage is Magicka based, so that's good. And we have 16 heavy armor focus to help mitigate the physical based damage from 200 ads and dragons. So pretty nice to have. Green CP, pretty standard, 20% break free cost reduction just in case. If you feel like you're not getting CC'd or anything, definitely take a lot of points away from this and do like a basic 15% break free cost reduction or something. But otherwise, if you're not used to trial or something, then yeah, 20% break free cost reduction. 33 sprinter, again, it's going to be very important that you have your resources up, because you as a group, if you're going to go for like a speedrun achievement or God Slayer even, the fights are pretty lengthy for the boss fights. The trash is at least 5 minutes, and that easily includes walking, running, and stuff from boss to boss, from start to finish, and then from both bosses to the last boss. So basically, you're gonna want the sprinter as a tank. And the bashing focus, there isn't really anything to bash in Veteran Sunspire except maybe the last boss stone ad, but that's not really. That's gonna be a matter of timing. It's actually a mechanic that discourages you from bashing right away, so you'll see what I mean when you get in there. And 56 Arcanist, this is a matter of the Tenacity and Arcanist for your tank setup. It's gotta be a matter of preference. If you want more Arcanist, if you want less, it doesn't matter. I've tanked with both high mag reco build and the non-mag reco build, just using balance. Either works. Personally, I didn't really find an issue with the non-mag reco build, so it's really up to you guys whether you want to do this or not. And we have the basic 72 points to Shadow Ward. I'm running 3 Infuse and 4 Sturdy for Vet Sunspire, which I would probably recommend to other tanks. However, if you're running 7 full Sturdy, there's no need to go over 72 points in Shadow Ward anyway. 51 Tumbling just in case for the ads and so on. And that is pretty much it, guys. Hopefully this will help you conquer Veteran Sunspire, both non-hard mode and hard modes, and get you that perfected gear and potentially the title. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Until then, have fun, good luck, and stay safe.